Every year, millions of Americans open their mail or log into their Social Security accounts, expecting to see a small but meaningful increase in their monthly check. But this year, something fell off. While some seniors were surprised to see a higher deposit, others were left wondering why their payment was smaller or barely increased at all. And the big question that started circulating was simple: why did this happen? Welcome to Social Security Watch, where we break down the truth behind Social Security updates, policy changes, and benefit adjustments that most people overlook. In today's report, we'll uncover why some retirees are seeing more in their Social Security checks this year and why others are receiving less. The reasons go far beyond the cost of living adjustment. They involve taxes, Medicare premiums, income thresholds, and how the Social Security Administration calculates benefits. Let's start from the top, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly where your money went and what you can do to prepare for next year's changes. Every October, when the Social Security Administration releases the new COLA cost of living adjustment, there's a sense of hope. The COLA is meant to protect seniors against inflation. In simple terms, it's a yearly percentage increase based on the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, CPIW. The logic is straightforward. When prices rise, Social Security benefits should rise too, so retirees don't lose purchasing power. But this year, that promise didn't quite play out evenly. The official COLA was smaller than many expected, and for some seniors, the increase was completely offset by higher deductions and cost adjustments elsewhere. So, while headlines celebrated a small benefit boost, many retirees quietly noticed that their deposit didn't stretch any further, and for some, it even shrank. Let's talk facts. The COLA for this year came in lower compared to the previous year because inflation slowed, at least on paper. While the cost of fuel and certain goods stabilized, everyday essentials for seniors, groceries, medical copays, housing, and utilities continued to rise faster than the overall CPIW measurement. This created what experts call the senior inflation gap. The formula the government uses doesn't fully reflect how seniors actually spend their money. Retirees spend far more on healthcare and less on items like transportation and electronics, categories that often bring the inflation number down. So, while official inflation cooled, seniors didn't feel it. Their real-world expenses stayed high, but their benefits didn't match the cost. That's the first piece of the puzzle. The math behind the COLA simply doesn't align with retirees' true living costs. Now, let's get into the frustrating part: why some people actually got less. If your deposit seems smaller this year, there are a few likely explanations, and they all come down to how the SSA and Medicare interact. First, the Medicare Part B premium. Most retirees have this premium automatically deducted from their Social Security payment. When Medicare increases its monthly premium, even slightly, it directly eats into your benefit. And this year, Medicare's Part B premium went up. That means even if you technically received a COLA increase, the higher Medicare deduction may have canceled it out. For example, if your COLA added $30 a month but your Medicare premium rose by $25, your actual gain was only $5, or even zero if you had other adjustments. Secondly, there's the hold harmless rule, a lesser-known protection in the Social Security system that prevents benefits from decreasing when Medicare premiums rise faster than the COLA. It's meant to protect low-income retirees. But for those not fully covered by this rule, including people with higher income brackets or dual coverage, the premium hike can still lower their take-home benefit. And third, some seniors faced higher income-related adjustments. The SSA considers your modified adjusted gross income, MAGI, from 2 years prior to determine whether you owe a higher Medicare premium, known as IRMAA, income-related monthly adjustment amount. If your income increased even slightly in that prior year, you might now be paying a higher Medicare rate, cutting into your Social Security check. Add all that up, and it's easy to see why some seniors are feeling squeezed even when the government says benefits have gone up. But not everyone saw less this year. Some retirees actually received a noticeable bump. So what made the difference? In many cases, these are seniors whose income dropped significantly in recent years. For example, retirees who stopped working part-time jobs, sold less investment income, or moved into lower tax brackets often see smaller Medicare deductions and lower IRMAA surcharges. Others benefited because they delayed claiming Social Security until later in life. Remember, for every year you delay benefits past full retirement age, your monthly check increases by roughly 8% per year until age 70. That compounding growth often overshadows smaller COLA changes or Medicare adjustments. Additionally, some retirees saw higher benefits due to recalculated earnings records. Each year, the SSA automatically checks your work history to see if you had a more recent year of higher earnings that could replace a lower one in your top 35 earning years. That recalculation can slightly boost benefits for people who've continued to work part-time or contribute even after retirement age. And finally, certain low-income seniors may have qualified for state-level Medicare assistance programs this year, reducing or even eliminating their premium deductions, which meant they kept more of their Social Security check. So yes, while one retiree's benefit dropped by a few dollars, another's could rise by $50, and both outcomes are technically correct according to the SSA's formulas. Here's a twist that surprises many seniors: Social Security benefits are taxable. Depending on your income, up to 85% of your Social Security can be subject to federal income tax. That means your net benefit, what actually ends up in your bank account, depends not just on what the SSA pays, but also how your taxes are calculated. And the frustrating truth is, those income thresholds have not been adjusted for inflation since 1984. So while prices and benefits have gone up for decades, the tax bracket stayed the same. More retirees are being pushed into taxable territory every single year, even though their real income hasn't increased in purchasing power. This tax creep is one of the main reasons why retirees feel poorer, even if their gross Social Security benefit technically increased. The government gives with one hand and quietly takes back with the other. It's also important to remember that the SSA doesn't operate in isolation. Social Security checks may rise, but the cost of retirement living, from insurance to prescriptions to rent, often rises faster. According to several senior advocacy groups, the average retiree lost roughly 36% of their buying power since 2000 due to the mismatch between COLA adjustments and real inflation for seniors. That's a huge gap, and it keeps growing every year. In short, even if your Social Security went up this year, the world around you got more expensive even faster, leaving you effectively behind. Now, let's focus on what you can control. If you received less this year, the first step is to review your Social Security statement and your Medicare deductions. Check for changes in your Part B or D premiums and whether you've been placed in a higher IRMA bracket. If your income has dropped since the year used to determine your premium, you can file an appeal with the SSA using Form SSA 44 to request a reduction in your Medicare surcharge. Next, check whether you qualify for Medicare savings programs in your state. These can pay some or all of your premiums and free up a significant amount of your Social Security check. For those who received more, it's wise to plan ahead. That extra boost could disappear next year if inflation remains low or Medicare costs rise again. Consider using the increase to pay off small debts, build an emergency cushion, or cover health-related expenses. And most importantly, stay informed. Understanding how these annual adjustments work and how your personal finances interact with them is the key to making every dollar count. The bigger question is, what does this mean for the future of Social Security? Experts warn that the system faces long-term funding challenges. The trust fund that pays retirement benefits could become depleted within the next decade unless Congress takes action. That doesn't mean Social Security will disappear, but it could result in smaller checks or delayed retirement ages for future generations. For current retirees, the best approach is to stay proactive, monitor policy changes, and adjust expectations realistically. Each year's COLA announcement is more than just a percentage. It's a reflection of how the system is adapting or failing to adapt to real-world economics. So, if you noticed a difference in your check this year, whether higher or lower, you're not alone. It's part of a broader trend that shows how fragile the balance has become between promised benefits and the rising cost of living. At Social Security Watch, our goal is to keep you one step ahead, to help you understand not just the numbers, but the reasons behind them. If your payment changed this year, take it as a reminder that knowledge truly is power. Review your statements. Check your deductions. Stay alert to changes in Medicare premiums and tax thresholds. The system is complex, but the more you understand it, the better you can protect your income and your peace of mind. Thank you for watching. If you found this information helpful, please consider subscribing to Social Security Watch and turning on notifications so you never miss an important update about your benefits. Until next time, stay informed, stay prepared, and stay confident, because understanding your Social Security is the first step toward securing your future.